welcome back to Can I Talk to Your Grandma? If we have not met before, my name is Sarah. I am the host of this podcast. I absolutely love it. I just get so much joy out of hosting it. This is actually a part 2 episode with Sandra Mason. So if you haven't listened to episode 13, that's the part 1, first half of our conversation. And I want to keep my intro really short today because we have our first listener grandma story, which I'm super excited about. I really want to start including these for people, maybe their grandma isn't here anymore or isn't part of their life anymore or wouldn't want to be a full guest. But I just kind of want to make more of a community out of the listeners and start to share these stories. So I'm so grateful to Dan who shared his story. Expletive warning: if you're listening with little ears, there are some spicy words, but that's all good. Nothing we haven't heard before. And but anyway, just in case you were listening with anyone else. Anyway, so we're gonna hear from him. There are some images as well. There's some photos of his step grandma Edie. So if you're listening on the video version on YouTube or Spotify, you can see those. And if not, I will share them on our Instagram so that you can see. But what a wonderful lady. And I will be back after Dan's message to chat a little bit more.
Hi, Sarah. Longtime human, first-time podcaster. That's not true. I'm from Los Angeles. But I want to talk about my step-grandmother, Edie, who passed away at the ripe old age of 103 years old, was like a month or two away from turning 104 when she passed away. I met her when I was 16, and she was like 88. She was basically at that point just the mom of the guy my mom was dating. But she treated me and my brother with so much love and warmth that she basically immediately became a surrogate grandmother and was just an amazing presence in our lives. And so there's 2 stories about Edie that I want to share that I think encapsulate what a badass woman she was. The first one is for her 100th birthday party, which actually was really her 101st birthday party, because Edie was born in 1920, meaning that she turned 100 in 2020 when no one was able to celebrate. And the whole time the family's just tugging on their shirt collars going, I hope we're going to be able to celebrate next year, you know what I mean? And luckily we were. It was a huge blowout party. Anyone she had ever met was invited to this thing. Massive shindig in a massive house with a backyard. Drinks, barbecue, the whole 9 yards. It was an awesome, awesome party to celebrate Edie's life. And at the end, she's called up to this giant platform area in the backyard to give a small speech. And 2 things about Edie. Lightning quick wit. One of the funniest quick-witted women I've ever met in my life. The other is that she has a thick New York accent. Has lived in California for most of her adult life, but was born in the Bronx. So just kept that New York accent her entire life. So this 101-year-old woman is called up to the stage for her belated 100th birthday party and gives maybe a 15-second speech that goes like this. Thank you all so much for coming. It means so much that you're all here celebrating my life. I'm so happy everyone is here and having a good time. Let's not do this again next year. And just walks off the stage, and I'm laughing my ass off in the back, being like, that's fucking dark, Edie. That's an inside thought, but Edie didn't fucking care. She thought it was super funny, and she wanted to say it, so Edie did. And all, the children were, aghast, but, her children were aghast. I thought it was one of the funniest things you could say in that moment. The second story about Edie was a year after that. Again, Edie was lightning quick the entire time. At no point lost how quick-witted and smart she was. To the point that she came over one, Passover to, have dinner with us. And at the time, my family was obsessed with this card game called 5 Crowns. We would play it all the time, and it's pretty easy to pick up. But we're it's a new game. She's 102 at this point. I don't know if she's going to be able to, pick it up. Dear reader, not only did she pick it up, she kicked our fucking asses at this card game. We played 3 rounds of 5 Crowns. She demolished us every fucking time. It was we weren't letting her win. She did not need help. She immediately picked up the rules and was a ruthless woman at that point. Just did not care for our well-being at all when it came to this game. But she got a little pissed off because she saw the box and saw that it was for ages 9 to 99. And she's 102 at this point. So she immediately cries, well, this is fucking bullshit. So my stepdad decides to humor her and sends an email to the creators of Five Crowns saying, good day. I'm writing to inform you that there is a misprint error on your run of Five Crowns. You see, my mother, who is 102 years old, just kicked our asses for 3 hours. And so the 9 to 99 is clearly not correct. You need to change it to reflect the fact that this is meant for people much older than 99. We did not expect a response. What we got instead was a huge email from the company saying how touched they were by the message, how happy they were that Edie was enjoying the game and was so good at the game. And they got two things for us. One was they got us a special copy of Five Crowns that said ages 9 to 99 plus. And they got that copy signed by the game designer themselves as like a thank you present for writing to them. I don't know if that's just a copy version they had on hand, if they made a special print version of this box for us. It was still the most touching gesture, and it's something that we still look at very fondly in my parents' household, that we have not opened the box. We don't want to mess with the cellophane wrapping and the signature, but also it's the story of Edie that lives eternal, that this woman who this game said should not be able to play this game was in fact better at the game than all of us combined. And yeah, Edie was an amazing grandmother. I miss her a lot. But I have a knitted blanket that she made me when I was still not even her stepson. I was just some kid her son was dating the mom of. She made me a blanket, and it was this beautiful blue blanket that sits in my house to this day. I see that and I think of Edie. And yeah, Edie was great, and I hope everyone had a grandmother like Edie.
Me again. Oh my gosh, I loved that so much. I'm so grateful to Dan for sharing all of that. If you have a grandma story that you would love to share on the podcast, I encourage you, please send in either a voice memo like Dan did, or you can write out in an email form and I will read it to hello@grandmapodcast.com. What fun. I hope everybody loved that, and I love the addition of the pictures. It added so much. And it kind of reminded me of Miss Judy. She was our episode 6 grandma, but just sort of like your not chosen family exactly, but just really making an effort and building a family, and creating a really beautiful community. So what a woman, Miss Edie. We raise a glass to you. I love it. And now we'll jump into getting to know Sandra Mason, part 2. It seems like it. And it seems like you've maintained friendships with some of the other women like Kathy and Susan. It seems like you're still seeing them a whole lot, which is so
Kathy,
sweet.
Susan, all the ladies. We're all, I can't say all, but most of us are on a text stream, a text, what do you call it? Text chain? What is it
chat?
called? Group chat.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sharing what's happening in our lives, their kids' success. So my dog had pups, those kinds of things.
I love that. I'm sure you've heard this 75,000 times, but watching it, seeing the camaraderie and the kind of shared maturity and kindness toward each other was just really wonderful to watch. Just made it such a sweet show.
I think much to the detriment of the producers, because they don't want everybody to get along. They want there to be some drama.
Yeah.
Otherwise people don't sleep. You got to have women. But we had all kind of made a pact. Even when we had our mics on and all, we all sat in the big, I don't know what they call that room, the room where everybody sits and has conversations. And we all said, we are going to show America that we're not 20 years old. We're mature people, and we are going to get along and support each other and cheer each other on. And for the most part, we did. We really did.
It really seems like you totally did it, and you've continued to do so. It's so wonderful. Yeah. I love it. Yeah. Well, this is sort of a different question, but I just love asking everybody, how did you name your daughters?
Okay, that's a great story. My oldest daughter, her name is Evany, Evany.
Oh.
She was supposed to be a boy, okay? And his name was Evan. Yeah. and she came out with the wrong parts. So
So she became
she became
Ebony.
Ebony.
I love that name.
EVANY.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And my youngest daughter, who's 40 now, my niece was visiting at one point in time, and she was saying, if I have a son, we were just talking baby names. She said, if I have a son, I'm going to name him Taylor. And I said, Taylor. I said, Taylor. I said, I like that for a girl.
Yeah.
I'm like, can I use that? Can I use that? She said, well, yeah. And she said, for a girl? And I said, yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody else later on, I told him I was going to name her Taylor. By this time, I knew I was having a daughter because science had advanced, and I had to have an amniocentesis because I was 36 years old, and that was one of the medical requirements. So I knew I was having a daughter. So I told a friend I was naming her Taylor, and she said, "Oh, don't do that." But see, the thing is, it was the cutting edge of girls being named either last names or boys' names. And now it's a thing.
Yeah, now it's such a like James and all kinds of names.
But when my daughter, up to say age 5, maybe 8, there were no other Taylors. There might have been, I think there was a Taylor Dane, a singer.
Okay.
And there was a lady on one of the soap operas, and her name was Taylor. But those are the only Taylors I ever heard of that were girls. So.
I want to ask about your love of football. I know you love all 32 teams. Have you always loved football? How did you become such a fan?
Well, okay. I started dating a guy.
Okay.
I met a guy at a racquetball club. I played a lot of racquetball.
Oh, right.
And he was a big fella. And so all these guys he was playing with were big fellas. So I watched him for a while. And then we met and we chit-chatted and everything, found out that they were players for the Oakland Raiders.
Oh.
Yeah. When the Raiders were in Oakland.
This was your Super Bowl ring that you had on your Instagram, I think. Okay. Yes. It's all coming together now.
Yeah. So we started dating, and he so back then there was only Sunday and Monday night football.
Okay.
Well, I went to my first game, and I sat up there in the stands, and I said, "What is your jersey number?" And he told me, and I tried to follow what he was doing, and I kind of really did not know. So after that game, I said to him, "What is it you do out there? And describe it to me. Tell me what your job is." And so we sat down, and he kind of did the X's and O's thing, and so then I'd ask some more questions, and then. When he wasn't working on Monday nights, that would be my lesson night, so to speak. We'd watch football, and I would ask questions, and I tell you, I got hooked. I was fascinated with the game. I thought, this is so cool. There's so many moving parts. There's so much to learn, and it just hooked me. Like Wheel of Fortune hooked me. It was one of those things that I was fascinated.
You're a student of it.
I became a student, and the more I watched, the more I wanted to learn, the more questions I had, and I'm still asking questions to this day. Of course, the league changes rules every season. There's new rules. I looked them up. I haven't done it for this season yet, but so now I'm a student of the game, and no, I don't. And people say, you got to have a team. No, I don't. I have 32. I just like watching very good matchups and just seeing hard-hitting defenses and offenses with finesse and the rules. I love learning the rules, and I'm still learning the rules. It's amazing how not just the ones that are new, but the ones that are old, how to interpret them and why. And I don't know, I'm hooked.
I love it. I love it. That's awesome. Well, what was it like moving? Well, I was going to say back to Atlanta, but I guess you left Atlanta when you were so small. But what was it like coming?
2 years old.
Yeah.
But, coming back was fun. I had gotten a divorce from said football player, and I didn't. And so I just thought, I want to mature. I want to do something different in life. And since this was my original home, and my mother was deceased at that time, I thought, you know what? My parents would be proud if I moved back to Atlanta just to see what it's like. And my daughter, who was 16, that's my youngest, who was 16 at the time, really said, yeah, Mom, let's move. And when your
Wow.
16-year-old is willing to leave her friends and her school and everything she knew, I thought, oh, well, nothing stopped me. So I moved here. I was, of course, selling real estate at the time. But when I got here, I couldn't do that because I didn't know north from west. I didn't know the market. That would have been high risk. So
Hmm.
I got a job, got a temporary job at a real estate office. But then that transitioned to me being the assistant to the president of an engineering firm because I
Right.
was very organized. You have to be organized in real estate. And so I was an organized person and got a job interview with him via a friend of a friend. He
I
was
love
looking
it.
for an assistant. And I walked into his office and I looked around and I said, "Oh, you need me." Because his office was stacks of papers and crap everywhere. I don't know how he existed. But I said, "You need me." And he said, "Well, why is that?" I said, "Because this isn't going to work." I said, "You know what? We're going to get you straight, and in a few months, none of this is going to be here." Now, it took longer than a few months because he was stubborn, but we got him organized. We really did. And his office was a different environment. And I was proud of him because when I first walked in there, I thought, how can the president's place look like? This is wrong. It's so wrong.
Mm.
After a few months, though, he looked like the president of an engineering firm, you know?
As he
Yeah,
should. I love
as he
that.
should.
I bet you
Yeah.
guys were a good matchup. I'm sure you.
Yeah, I had to kick his ass from time to
Yeah.
time. And still whatever. But yeah, we were. We
There we
worked
go.
well.
I love that. And so then is that the job that you retired from?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What was it
Yeah.
like retiring? Was it sort of a shock?
It was, there was a term back then. I used to call it the bomb ditty. Retirement is the bomb ditty because I didn't have to wake up early. I didn't have to commute. I didn't have to do anything. I just would lay in bed in mornings and think, oh my God, I've arrived. I remember when I was a working gal years before and thinking, I wonder what retirement's like. I'll bet that's really fun that you don't have to punch a clock. You don't have to be anywhere. You just do what you want to do when you want to do it. And I finally arrived and I thought, this is cool. But then a few months went by and I thought, what am I going to do with myself? And that's when I started the eBay. So we're full
Mm.
circle on my story.
Oh, it
That's when
does. Yeah, we're back where we started.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. So what does your day-to-day look like now? Mostly focused on the store, or are you traveling?
Yeah, that and exercise classes and
Mm.
let's see, what are my days like? Well, right now I'm in the midst of preparing for two television shows.
Ooh,
So I can't talk about it. I
sure.
can only whet your appetite with that little bit of information. And so I've been busy. I'm upstairs packing and sorting and getting things ready, and I'm doing some self-taping because they need some promo material and that kind of thing.
That's
Um,
exciting.
but I have lunch with my girlfriends, dinner with my next door neighbor. Yeah, shopping
As you
for the
should.
store. Yeah,
Living the dream. Do you have to go? I guess you go and you stage all of it yourself. You're just not
hmm
working in it. Amazing.
correct.
I
Right, I
love
don't have to
that.
stay there.
Yeah.
Now, the owner of the store, who is kind of OCD, but not that extreme OCD, but he
Hmm.
likes things neat and orderly and organized, which really mean in this store. A lot of customers will come in and say, "Wow, this is really nice," because it is orderly,
Yeah.
and he won't allow a vendor to have slop and crap in this. He won't allow it. He'll tell them they've got to go.
That's amazing.
Um, mhm. So people, it's an enjoyable experience, even if you don't find anything. It's people say, I'm going to come back and I'm going to bring my girlfriends, or we have some senior citizen groups who come through.
Hmm.
Yeah, so it's a
Amazing.
nice place.
If any of them ever
Yeah.
want to be on a podcast, I love talking to grandmas.
Can I drop the name of the store?
Of course,
Can I?
please do. Please do.
It's in Chamblee, Georgia, and it's called Simple Finds, Finds. Yes.
I love it. I
Okay.
love it.
Yeah.
Well, I think that was kind of all of our questions. Is there anything else that you'd like to plug or talk about while I've got you?
Well, I can share my Instagram
Please
account.
do.
I'm always looking for followers, and I always like following others,
Hmm.
interesting people. So
Yeah.
my my Instagram handle, is that what they call it? A handle?
Yeah.
What do
Yeah.
you call it?
Yeah. Handle. That's
Handle?
perfect.
Okay. Is Sandra the Joy. One word.
I love that.
My mom used to call me, my middle name is Joy. So my mom used to call me her Joy.
Aw.
And most of my Christmas cards or birthday cards, that word would be in there somewhere.
Of
So
course. That's so fitting for you. It's perfect.
oh, thank you. That was for Sandra the Joy.
Sandra
So
the
it just
Joy.
stands to reason that I would use that. When I left the show, they said, okay, you need an Instagram account. And I said, what for? What? and the producer said, well, because people are going to want to know who you are and they're going to want to know more about you. And I said, well, and he said, then you might be able to sell things. And I said, like what? What is this Instagram thing? And so he says, well, Sandra, for you, it might be glassware, could be perfume or blouses. You never know. And I said, really? People buy things like that? And he said, yes. He said, trust me, they do. He said, establish an account and let me know what your handle is, I guess.
Mhm.
And I said, well, okay. So I did. And that was the name, told him. And then I bumped into a lady who was a fan of
Mhm.
what I call the GB, the Golden Bachelor.
Oh, nice.
One, because now it's GB2.
Oh, yeah.
They just finished filming GB2. Where was I going with that story?
You
This is a
bumped into
scene.
a woman who
Oh,
after.
right. And she has some real technical skills.
Oh.
So she said, I can take care of you. I can help you out because I don't know how to put a reel together and put the bells and whistles and I have way above my pay grade. And so she does that for me. And
wonderful.
she's kind of become my director, producer, script writer. She kind of puts it all together for me. I just say, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And smile
How
and do what she
great.
said.
Great to have
Yeah,
someone like
she's-
that in your corner.
Yes.
That's awesome.
She's a sweetheart. So is her husband. They're darling people. They really are.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Man. Well, I so appreciate you doing this with me. This has just been so fun.
Oh, thank you, Sarah. And yeah, you didn't ask the typical questions, and I appreciate that. Although I don't mind answering those,
Right.
People
Well, I
don't
just-
really ask. Uh-huh.
No, I didn't mean to cut you off. I sort of felt like those are out there. Like you've talked so much about your experience on the show, and those interviewers did a great job asking you about it. But I thought maybe I'll just link those shows and I'll kind of ask new things that we haven't talked about with you before. So
Yeah. There's a little bit of the story I did, my background that I did leave out.
okay.
And that is, right now, I'm a member of Screen Actors Guild.
Oh.
That's the union, the actors union, and which you have to earn your way into. And I did so when I lived in Washington State for a short while, and had a friend who had taken her daughter to meet an agent. She wanted to get her daughter in the business, and this agent had told her he was looking to build what he called an ethnic portfolio, and if she knew anyone of color, could she tell them about him? And so she called me and told me, and I said, oh, okay. So I called him up, met with him. He sent me on an audition. I failed miserably because they said slate. I said, what is slate? Oh, God, how embarrassing. You didn't tell me about slate. Do you know what slate is?
No, I have no idea. So I also would have not known.
Okay, that's when you state your name and your agency's name and whatever other information they might want at the time. And so I didn't know what slate was. But anyway, my second audition, I landed the job. I landed a commercial. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I had no acting skills to speak of, but I
You
guess I
didn't
could
need
just
them, clearly.
Didn't need them. And that commercial went national, and I earned enough to join the union, and it was, So
I love
and I've
that.
done a lot. I've done quite a bit of commercials. Most of it was background stuff, but I landed a couple of principal parts. And it was
Yeah.
enough to keep me in the union, and yeah.
That's
so even
amazing.
to this day, I'm in the union. Yay!
I
Okay.
love that. What was that first
Right.
commercial for?
It was for Anheuser-Busch, and you know who that is, right?
Yeah.
And it was they had entered into some kind of consent decree, I think, with the government about not over drinking or something like that.
Okay.
So it was a commercial. It was called Know When to Say When. And the scene I was in, I was a birthday girl and blew out candles, hugged my mom, thanked everybody, that kind of thing. So they had different vignettes to pull that 30 seconds together. And
I love that.
My face was on TV for 2020 and the 6 o'clock news. And I mean, I had a presence and I had residuals of the yang. And I made money. Yeah, it was fun. And again,
awesome.
with real estate, that was very helpful. So.
Yeah, I'm sure. Wow,
Okay, so
that's
I'm
amazing.
bragging on it.
No, this has all been so interesting. I love all of it. Well, okay, let's see. I think those are all of my questions that I had for you. But yeah, anyway, thank you so much for doing this with me. It's just been a
Can
joy.
I ask you a question or two,
Sure,
Sarah?
sure.
Oh, okay. How long have you been podding? Or is that the right word? Podding? Casting?
Podcasting, yeah. So I started this because I have a wonderful grandmother who is 95 and she's a cattle rancher in Lockhart, Texas, and she's just wild. She just always has done whatever she wanted, and she likes to say that she was born without fear. I'm like, I just love it. So I've always gotten so much out of talking to her, and I just felt like, I don't know. And I kind of feel like in the US, especially, like seniors and older people, we can kind of put to the side and put sometimes in nursing homes. Obviously, you're way too young for that, but like just kind of like cast in a corner and we don't really engage. And so I felt like I selfishly wanted to ask people questions and ask about their lives and record their histories, and also kind of wanted to say like, it's not that hard to ask about someone's first date or like where they were born. Like, none of these questions are, anyway, that was way too long of an answer, but I've been doing this I have 10 episodes that are out. I have episode 11 comes out on Tuesday. So I'm kind of a beginner in this and I'm learning a lot about podcasting, but I've just had the most fun doing it. And I just love it as a project. Yeah.
Am I number 12? Am I your dozen?
Yes, you are.
Great.
Yeah.
So are your interviewees? Is that what I'm called?
Yeah.
What do you call people? Interviewees?
Yeah.
Are they all grandmothers or?
They sometimes are, or grandfathers, or some have no children at all. It was just sort of a cutesy name to hook people in, but most end up being grandmothers.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
I like your grandmother. I like that story.
Right? I interviewed her as well. I need to put it out there. But at one point she said, I don't think any of my grandchildren are having enough fun except for you. And I'm like, I probably need to cut that part out, but I haven't decided yet. So I don't want to hurt their feelings.
Thought you were first. I thought you were going to say she was your first interviewee. No.
I should have started with her. I recorded her very early on, but I just haven't put it out yet.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Anyway, I need to.
You tell her I said hello.
I will.
Okay.
I will.
She deserves all the respect. And I appreciate you inviting me here.
Of course. I appreciate you accepting the invitation. And I'm excited to follow all of your upcoming adventures, whatever they may be.
Stay tuned. Are you watching any of the franchises right now? You watching Bachelor in Paradise?
Yes. Yes, I am. Oh, good.
I suggest you watch this Monday.
Okay, I certainly will. I just saw your Instagram story, which may have been a teaser for that with Wells. I'm excited to. I'll watch on Monday. You posted something. It was a picture of you and Wells on Instagram.
Oh yeah, but that's a form. That has nothing to do with this. Although, I told my Instagram lady to post it. I said, Wells is relevant right now, so go ahead and post that.
Oh, good. Okay,
but
good.
the picture was taken quite some time ago. Not for BIP, but I would suggest you watch BIP Monday. First of all, it's the finale, but
right. I'm excited. I'm excited to watch. Anyway, awesome. Well, thank you so much again. I really appreciate this.
Thank you, dear.
Have a good night.